Hi
Or
guys,
the night.
takes Zelfie here. We're doing a review of Lost Origin and the Zeraora Deoxys bullshit
Oh yeah,
box.
that's a thing.
Anyways, they brought Lhasa back, which is kind of cool, and they're like trying to
Mhm.
make an archetype around it this time instead of
I
having it be
mean,
its own
we,
separate
you
thing.
say this time, but we had Lost March last time.
You're doing this now?
Yeah, I'm doing this now.
Yeah, we always do this
Fair
now.
enough.
Okay, there's Delphox. I kind of like the attack on the Delphox, just because I always think spread has a place somewhere, though I don't think the spread is good enough.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of tragic that like all the fire support we have currently usually centers around discarding the fire energies, which means you weren't
Yeah,
really pairing well because you
it
have to lost zone it.
right. This is the one time we're getting rid of fire energies, and then it doesn't work out in our favor, even
Yeah,
though we have the support for it.
like this would be phenomenal if it just discarded, but because it's a lost zone card, it doesn't play nicely with like Magma Basin.
Yeah, not to mention, I don't think the
Also, Manaphy's a thing. Hooray!
yeah Manatee is a fade. We're losing telescopic sight by the time this comes out. So like,
No, we are not.
is that battle styles?
No, rotation. Did you not see the thing I sent you that said rotation is like January 2023?
Oh, okay. So we will have this for a little bit. Got it.
Yeah,
My bad. I just presumed rotation was going to be a bit far off. Or
I
like right
literally
after
sent you an
Worlds.
article on it.
Okay, I read the part where Go was going to be legal for Worlds, and that's like where my interest ended.
All right.
Um, but yeah, it's cool. Spread is always something to look out for. I just don't think this spread is worth using over like Rapid Strike or Shifu.
Yeah. If hey, it'll outlive Rapid Strike eventually, maybe then, but I don't know.
uh,
Also, hey, it burns. It's the once a set. Hey guys, burn exists card.
yeah, we got Kramer. I love this Kramer art, as you can probably already
Art is
tell.
great. Uh,
I also am
I
really
like the
digging.
background on the Lost Zone cards too. There's one other card I think it pairs better with, but
Yeah, I'm really digging the like Lost Zone sort of style that they got going on here.
yeah.
Um,
Like if you can just pull up the Comfey and not read it first, I want to like look at how well that blends in with the art.
yeah, sure does. Um, but the Cramorant is pretty cool. So it
Yeah.
does 100. It's like one of those tech attackers that you might throw in because it's free. Unfortunately, just because of how good Palkia is, and to a lesser degree, like Shadow's Inteleon and any other sort of water Arceus variant, or even like even the subwater decks like Suicune and Ice Cali, I think just because of how high water's popularity is, that actually makes this card weaker. Just because it's already pushing out the decks that would be weak to like water anyways out, and so that sort of makes this card.
Read the card properly.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Have you read the card properly?
Oh, okay, never mind.
I was streaming Delta Rune and I still read these cards better than you did.
I was like free attack, and then it was like I thought I ignored something else.
No, it is basically just Hoopa. And 4 is like really manageable, by the way.
Yeah,
4
four
is
is
super
really
easy to
easy.
get
This
to.
should be this. Depending on like what our loss support actually is, this should realistically be online by your second turn. It
Yeah.
is quite a
Like
bit of
maybe your
damage.
T1 that's going second and you bump out a Sobble or something.
Right. I think this is Greninja like 110 HP, is or like 130.
Radiant Frog is 130, unfortunately.
Mm, okay, so it's a little bit off. I mean, we might get some other cards that do like 20
Yeah, also think
damage
about
here.
how much space if you just build your deck around this. You won't have to play energy. You can just commit to like all the funny texts.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about this just as like a standalone attacker, even. That
I mean,
is
I think
funny to
with like
consider.
the recyclability offered to it with like Clara, for example,
Right.
just because of, hey, put these two in your hand, then immediately attack with them
Yeah.
type deal.
Yeah. This card is neat. It's a really
Like
neat.
110 is fine. You have a lot of room for like quick shooting.
Right. It's a really neat sort of toolboxy card for these Lost End decks, and maybe you could justify it as like a single prizer deck or something like that. I still
It
think
could be
its
fun
damage
to
is a bit
try,
low.
at least. Like it does maybe enough damage.
Yeah. We got a Shuppet that's not worth talking about, and then a new Banette. We've gotten so many
Yeah,
Banettes as of late, I feel like.
yeah, and they're all like kind of neat. Like the attacking Banette didn't pan out, but
Yeah,
there's the one that's just like the Devolva thing Banette that also didn't pan. And
right.
unfortunately, I think this one is going to fall into the same boat of it's cool, but it's a stage one. But also,
Yeah,
Zeraora is going to love this.
yeah, this is a really neat effect. Um, Basically healing back any supporter. I'm not. It's really context dependent on what type of deck you're trying to like put this into, because we do have quite a lot of support recovery and just a lot of support usage that we're not like scrambling to find
People
supporters.
are playing Palpad. I think this is fine if it's like readily accessible, but the only deck that does that is Zoroark.
Yeah. In Zoroark, this could possibly be like a one of, just because like having that utility to fetch back literally anything
Yeah.
is nice.
I mean, as the Zoroark player, I'm playing 3 boss currently. I could absolutely sub this out for 1 boss.
Right. It's neat. Unfortunately, in Zoroark at least, this is once per game, but it's still nice.
Yeah,
It means that we're
you
not
have to
putting.
commit to multiple copies for this to not be once per game. But hey, it's neat.
It's neat and it works well. Also,
Cool, cool out of 10.
and I will be talking about post rotation a little bit because it's still on my mind. Um, if we do somehow like run out of like really good engines of like finding cards, and the Lost Zone archetype has like enough support to beat something, maybe this is one of those cards that squeezes in there. Just to help get some, because it'll put 2 cards into the Lost Zone for you. Then it'll also fetch back another supporter, which can be really nice. So it's not unplayable. I don't expect it to see a lot of play pre-rotation unless if we're desperately looking for ways to accelerate a Lost Zone. But yeah, it's cool. We got Comfey, and you said you like this card.
I like the art.
Yeah,
The ability is neat, but it's also locks to the active. So I mean, people are playing like the Mew, so this is kind of just the Mew but for lost decks.
right. This reminds me of Amazing Jirachi, which is another card we don't really play right now.
Yeah,
Um, Technically, I think this is a little bit better than Amazing Jirachi. It's literally the same effect, but once again, it's another trick for Lost Zone, and we've seen
mhm,
so far that there's some conditions for Lost Zone, and there's even more. Um, and we still have scoop up nets as well as
yeah.
level balls. So like, you can just filter through a couple of these, cycle a few cards, and then ramp up your Lost Zone condition, whatever the fuck it is.
But I would say I would never play this outside of a lost zone deck
Yeah,
because recursability is the name of the game.
right. I would never play this outside of a Lost in deck either. Um, and also, I don't. We haven't seen all the support for it, so it's really hard to judge whether this card is even good enough for that archetype. But it's cool.
Hey, you could play it in Cramorant.
Yeah. Oh, we have. Now we have Giratina. uh,
Yeah,
this card's a lot to unpack. I'll just start with the V. Look at the top four, then you put 2 in your hand, put the 2 in the Lost Zone. Um, that's okay. You're more so only using this attack because you have to set something up,
yeah.
and it helps to fulfill your conditions later. Though if you are
Mhm.
playing a Giratina VStar deck, which I will just like peek at, it has a VStar attack that you can use, which is instantly knocks the opponent out if you have 10 or more in the Lost Zone already. So, it does help to set that condition up. I'm not sure how impactful that VStar power is on its own, but it's neat. And then shred effects are cool because sometimes they're helpful. Do you have
Yeah.
anything else to
No,
say?
Shred will just it's nice that it's at least called Shred. It's been a while since we've just had an attack called Shred.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't really have too much else to say about this. Like, oh, also it's Dragon type, and because we're in
Yeah.
modern now, we don't have actual weaknesses, which is neat. We don't have to worry
Yeah,
about any of
no,
this Dunsparce crap or anything.
this is just a stepping stone, but at least they gave it some like conditional useful attacks that you will probably never use, but when they come up, might be nice.
Yeah, like you're probably not running Memory Capsule, but this is not an awful like Memory Capsule Pokemon either. just because it has some
Can we just
versatility in
get to
its
the thing that
attacks.
you want us to talk about?
Yeah. Okay. So unironically, this is really close to being good, and I only say that because the base damage is 280. That's so much fucking damage on a two prizer
That just Oko's.
with a belt. Every two
No, I'm
prizer.
thinking of just Oko's Arc and Palkia
Yeah,
flat.
it does. Most of them are running.
However,
Yeah, the cost to maintain this is really hard,
yeah, like
especially.
I've seen a few comparisons between this and Blacephalon GX, which is fair because it does almost the same thing.
Oh, okay.
But Blacephalon doesn't require two energy types and also didn't have to run Welder.
Yes. Well,
Or did it, or not, that's not what I meant. It had Welder, not didn't have to run it. Welder was
yeah,
like Blaze GX benefited off of being the boosted by the dumbest card ever printed.
yeah, and we do have some form of ramping. We have we have like a cajillion psychic rampers we can use. We have Cresselia, we
Yeah.
have Shadow Horse. I think we have a few others, though I think they only attach like specific Pokemon. I'm thinking about
You
like
can play Clefairy
Solrock.
and attach it to the Clefairy,
Oh, okay. Clefairy can
and then
only
use
attach to
Energy
Clefairy,
Stick.
right? Okay. Um, and then we also have Gardenias, like I mentioned. Um,
Yeah.
but ramping onto this is hard, and you have to do that
Mhm.
constantly to feed into its attack cost.
Yeah. Like, at minimum, you need to play 9 energy for this, assuming you're fighting, like, let's say, another Giratina.
Right.
And if you do, you lose to anything that wants you to play a 7 prize game, so you need to play more energy.
Yeah. And
So I don't know. I think that this might, like, it looks like a really crazy card on paper,
this this
but so
is
did Darkrai, and I was right when I said Darkrai wasn't shit, so I
uh
feel a little more confident in saying this card is probably going to be only okay.
I was gonna say this card reminds me a lot more of Dialga VStar, where there's a lot of potential and there's a lot of reasons to try and make it work. But
Mhm.
whether or not it's actually gonna work is a huge, huge,
Yeah,
question mark.
it's very much up in the air.
Yeah. I will say, at the very least, at the end of the game, if you are using some type of Lost Zone focused deck, you should at the very least have Star Requiem up. So you do have
Yeah.
to, like, not feed as much energy into this as you may think. But yeah, it's
hmm
still
Like it feels like a little bit of a waste to put Requiem Star on this when it already does so much damage by itself, anyways.
right. But, like,
But hey, if you can't get the third energy and you're really, really, really doing well with the Lost Zone thing, you get yourself some free prizes.
yeah, who knows? You may have Psychic Leaped you twice, and now you're having none of that bullshit. We got Colress.
Let's go, Colress.
Okay, first off,
This is not the chorus I wanted to see, but
this
you
art
know,
is fucking sick.
art's great. I'm
Um,
surprised he didn't go with like his Sun Moon look because I don't think that ever got a card.
No, I was a little bit surprised about that too. And then it's look at the top five cards of your deck, and then you put three into your hand and the two
Yeah.
into Lawson. So it's like it's a really glorified Sharon,
hmm
but
I mean, it's a Shiren that if you were playing the Lost deck, this gets you halfway to Cram, for instance.
right,
You've got options.
right. And like I said, we don't actually know how much support Lawson is gonna give us.
Yeah,
So
for all we
like,
know, this is it right here, and that would be kind of strange, but hey.
yeah. So like any sort of card that says put cards into the Lost Zone could be helping to fulfill any sort of condition that we need, right? So we might just be playing this as like a four of, and then turboing these out into like Mirage Gates and the fucking Giratina's V Stars. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but yeah, like it's not awful. What is kind of awful is Lost Sweeper. I don't like this card.
Yeah. You are minus oneing yourself to
The Playful
Tool Scrapper.
Scrapper. Like, to be fair, it does hit stadiums, but also,
Yeah.
just from what we've seen so far, we don't really have to turn off any stadiums. We
No.
are a special energy focused deck because we don't have like a lost energy or some bullshit like that. And we're
No.
not like any of the Fusion Strike decks, so we're not like begging to turn off like Path to Peak or Temple of Sinnoh. I can't think of any other stadiums that are really harming us.
Even then, they would just play other stadiums. They would, under no circumstances, minus one themselves just to bump a stadium.
Right? You can just play your own stadium in that case. Um,
And like the lost deck does have a stadium that's like pretty solid.
Right. I am of course only talking about standard because I'm sure Control loves a card that says banish some bullshit.
Yeah. I just refuse to acknowledge expanded. I do not think it is a real format.
True. But yeah, I don't think this card is good. It's a -1. It only puts one card in the lost zone.
Yeah.
It doesn't even
Like
put
even
itself
for
into the
both,
lost zone.
maybe being a -1 would be kind of worth it.
Yeah, maybe you
Like I
could
guess the
turbo into
theory is
Mirage
that putting the
Gates.
card in the lost zone is supposed to be advantage for stuff like Mirage Gate or Requiem Star or Cram, but like
It's just
no,
it's too
just don't.
slow. It's too
Play
slow
Comfey.
for
Play
too much of a
play Colress.
situational effect. Exactly. Anyways, let's talk about like the one broken support card that we've gotten so far.
Yeah.
Um, so having 7 cards in the lost zone is a pretty hefty condition. We've already
Yeah.
seen some cards that help. Giratina V, Comfey, and Colress
Mhm.
are probably going to be the biggest ones so far.
Yeah. Like from what we see now, this would not this is sorry, it's late. This is not likely to be online by until like turn 3 or even 4.
Right. But if this card does somehow get online by turn 2, and hell, maybe even by turn 3 because we're such a fucking explosive deck, this is such a powerful effect.
Yeah, just free ramp. The fact that it takes from your deck is awesome.
Oh my god,
Like
right.
that's historically been the most broken effects. It has no restrictions outside of the lost zone thing.
Right.
They
Um,
just have to be of different types. So they clearly wanted you to use this with Giratina. It doesn't pair with Delphox very well because it needs to be different types.
oh, I didn't even notice that part either. Huh.
Yeah, no, it's funny. They had a plan in mind and they're like, nope, Delphox is not part of this plan.
Wow, they really just okay, whatever. um, but yeah, it's a really powerful card, and the more support that we get for Lost Zone as a whole, the stronger this
Mhm.
card gets. Period. So
Yeah.
it's on the watch list for
Yeah, I
insanely
like that
fucking.
this wave of Lost Zone support focuses more on like Lost Zoning your own cards as opposed to trying to
I like how it creates an
lost the
archetype around
opponents.
it too.
Yeah,
And then we got a stadium, which just says when Pokemon are knocked out, they're putting the Lost in instead.
yeah.
This
This
is
is literally. I know you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. This is literally Macrocosmos.
I presume that like banishes them instead of putting them into the
Yeah, anything
graveyard.
that goes to the graveyard just gets banished.
Yeah. Like Lost City is kind of fringe. It's a stadium bumper, which is sorta okay. I
Yeah,
can't think of too many themes.
like I think there will be some funky like control deck that maybe wants to play this.
Oh, true.
Hilariously, this probably is not good in like actual Lost decks because with Giratina, you don't want to lose your resources like that. Probably.
Right. And I'm not entirely sure. I just simply don't think that you want to be putting this card to your deck because it doesn't really help you achieve your game plan fast enough. At most, you probably want like if you're trying to like procrastinate until Giratina VStar is online, you're really hoping that you're killing like off comfies or something, right? Or like
Yeah,
Cramorants. So it's just
like
not fast enough in general
yeah,
compared to some of the other
I think
options we've seen.
this would be like a busted thing on an attack or an ability on a guy, but the fact that it's reciprocal just means you really don't want to play it.
Yeah,
The art's cool. I like the art.
the art is also so cool. Um, yeah, I really hype to play Giratina. Giratina looks so much fun. I can't wait to see
Yeah,
what
I
more
hope
support we
it's
get.
good. I would like to be wrong, but I also like being right, so your mileage may vary.
I also want to get full art Colresses.
Yeah,
Okay, and then we got the other part that got revealed
the
today.
other guys.
Uh, and they're not as great, but they're still worth talking about a little.
Yeah,
Um,
this is the first time we've seen Deoxys's not normal forms in a very long time, if I'm correct.
yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
I
Where's the Deoxys Speed V Union?
I know, right? I will say
It's the one we're missing.
one very interesting about these cards at least is the fact that you have both the double prizer and the triple prizer inside the own deck. The only other V I can think of that does that is Charizard, and Charizard unfortunately is just super slow. The VMax is
Hey,
usually just not worth
Leafeon.
it.
Don't forget
Oh,
Leafeon.
true. We also have Leafeon and Glaceon. I almost forgot about those.
Yeah, just Glaceon V-Star. We don't
We
talk
don't
about
talk about it,
Glaceon V-Star.
but it's nice having the flexibility of having both a V Star and a V Max, regardless of
Mhm.
what you are, because that already gives you an inherent advantage to use both the attackers.
Yeah.
Um, Alright, well, starting off, Deoxys V is nothing really worth talking about.
It's a modern day evolving thing. You don't care.
Yeah, Deoxys VMax has a very interesting ability.
Yeah. I wish this was on a normal stage one.
And also like doing more damage and not taking less, but this is cool. I don't think any deck is going to play it. If there's like a speed Deoxys that is really, really, really good, I could see this being played as a one-off.
I okay, so you know where I could like almost unironically do we have okay, first question. Do we have any VMAX buffers or like attack producers? Because I feel like we have some Pokemon that say do less damage if your opponent is a VMAX or something like that. Or do we not? Maybe I'm misremembering.
There probably is. I just cannot think of it off of the top of my head currently.
Okay. Um, one other thing I want to say is that this is almost playable. If you get a because this stacks like failings, but only against V
Oh my
stars.
god, this does stack.
I'm surprised you didn't notice that. Yeah, so this is like the failings
That
clause
didn't
tied
even
to
occur to me. This actually, we can actually just play big failings, like
it.
because V stars are obviously the thing right now.
Right.
You have enough HP to trade with VMAXs anyways. You heal. You benefit from like the suspicious food tin and
I was
all
gonna
the
say,
psychic energy support.
yeah, I was gonna say you have Hyper Potion plus DTE. Um, so you automatically get to heal another 120. Your attack heals you
Yeah.
30. If you have all four of them in play, if no Path to Defeat can play, please pray. You have
Yeah.
basically 150
That
damage.
RCS with a DT is suddenly doing 60 damage to you.
Yeah, right. It's kind of funny. It's not good enough.
Dang, now I'm unironically excited for this because failings never got a chance to shine, and
Yeah.
I hope this can be kind of okay.
Yeah, so like the
If
attacks are
nothing
very
else, this will
funny.
be a funny meme to bring to locals as long as you dodge every dark type ever.
Yeah, and they don't drop Path to the Peak on your ass. Unfortunately, you're still weak the like basic attackers and V's
Yeah.
and V maxes. There's
Like at that
granted,
point, you're just relying on your own bulk. Also, this is susceptible to Mightyena, so that's gonna suck.
true, but yeah, there is definitely a lot less of most of those right now. Even then, the only other V maxes you're like really encountering super often are unfortunately Mew, and then also Urshifu, and then you already have a resistance against Urshifu, and you're hitting for weakness. So, you know, your matchup spread hypothetically is not that bad. Hypothetically, and
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then we got the VStar. This is like our fourth fucking psychic attacking VStar.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't see any reason to play this over other better spread attackers.
You have to remind me what Mewtwo VStar does.
God,
Because
that's not even out. Yeah, let me go
it's
check the
not
ghost
even out.
stat.
Because like 190 plus 60 snipe is just too weak. We haven't seen Cleavor see success, and Cleavor has a very similar attack that's even cheaper, I think. And then,
Yeah.
like, the V-Star is okay. It's like a one-time random nuke against the Arceus decks. But once again, since you're playing this in the same deck that you'd probably be playing the other Deoxys VMAX, it just seems redundant because you're already gonna have a good
Yeah.
matchup against like
Like I
the
could
Arceus decks.
maybe see it as a one-off,
Yeah,
but even then, I'm not sure.
yeah. Did you look at the Mewtwo? I forget what it's like.
I'm trying to find the Mewtwo.
Okay. But yeah, the VMAX is definitely
Hold
a
on,
lot
it's
better than the
taking a while
V-Star.
to load.
Even if the V-Star has spread, it's
Which,
just too
yeah.
weak. And then we got Zeraora. It's another one. The V is at least just another one of those whatever Pokemon that you're not really caring too much about.
Alright, so Mewtwo for Psychic Colorless, for its V-Star does 120 to each Pokemon, each V in play,
Okay.
or opponent's V. And then its main attack is 2 for 90 for each 3 Psychic. If you discard 3 Psychic Energy off of it, you do 270.
Oh, okay. So like Mewtwo's way better as just this offensive psychic type V-Star. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. We got Zeraora V. Also, I forgot to
You're not.
consider.
Yeah,
We have the Rapid Strike one still. That doesn't see
we
any
do,
play.
which is easily the best one to play because it is searchable by like Sobble.
True. That is neat. Man, that's kind of funny that if you play like the VMax, the VStar, and the regular V, you do have three different types of fucking attackers.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
and then we
I
got
think the VMax is like cute. It really just reads, "Hey, kill Palkia right now."
yeah, it's very very aggressive in nature. It's got a
It's
really
very
good V.
targeted towards one specific deck.
To be fair, this is still doing a shit ton of damage to most decks too. Because
Yeah,
what
everything
Pokemon
playing in
nowadays doesn't
Celion
have an
line takes
ability?
like 180-ish, but like Arceus adds.
Yeah, like what Pokemon don't have an ability nowadays?
Wormadam.
True. What big Pokemon that isn't instantly getting nuked have an ability nowadays?
Um,
Because I
Dialga, I guess that's the first.
true.
Oh, Ice Cali. Ice Cali's the big one.
Okay, so yeah, Ice Cali smokes you. And like Arceus stacks, if they have six Pokemon, that isn't a Sobble. That's six times
That's
six.
360. You're welcome.
Yeah. And then you do
I really
300 if
hope
they
this
have
card
five.
is not good though, because I really don't want to look at Zeraora.
Yeah. I mean, this this is like fringe playable. It's like in the same tier of like generally good attackers. It's like in the Ice Cali tier, except it doesn't do 250, so unfortunately it misses out on the magic number. And it
Yeah.
doesn't get that for 2 energy. And it has to use Dynamotor instead of Melody. Okay, I'm talking myself out of this card.
Nice. The V Star is really bad. Thunderstar is neat, like conceptually, but it's not good.
You know, V-Star reminds me of like Spark in Unite, where you just like bounce from place to place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it's a cool attack, and I appreciate the creativity. It's just also the card is not good.
right. And that's a 4 energy you have to get on this thing.
Yeah, like it's cool that you
It's
just kill Luminion and also get some extra spread, but
right. It's so whatever. That's sort of how I feel about these errors. Like, sure, you can play them
yeah.
and they'll be
The
okay,
first
but they're
one is
not
kind of
outstanding.
neat.
Yeah,
The Deoxys defense is probably the best, but even then, it's more funny than good.
right. And at the very least, Zeraora, all of his attacks are just mostly okay.
Yeah.
With the like with the basic V being discounted because it's not a real card.
Yeah.
And then we have a new item as well.
Camo Poncho exists.
It prevents them from bossing you.
I love that you can't even put this on Luminion. That's just a level of spite that I honestly find ridiculous.
That is true. You can't put this on your Crobats and your Luminions. I didn't even read it that hard. I was just like, oh, like maybe put this on
I
Tell.
just realized while I was reading it that
Wow.
wait,
So what
like
Pokemon? You put this on a Teleon, you retreat. You go into the other Teleon, you take a hit, and then you shell that off the damage off of 2 Pokemon. It's genius.
you are beyond saving.
It's obviously a very powerful effect. It's just a matter of like, is retreating to save a Pokemon and giving up Choice Belt worth it in this current metagame? Maybe in Arceus. I think I
No.
could see like Arceus using this.
No, I
But
think you
also,
just always try to win the prize war
yeah,
and not play for when you're losing the prize war,
yeah,
unless you're playing like a single prize deck and you are probably going to be losing the prize war.
yeah,
But you
fair.
can't put this on a single prizer.
Right. Well, yeah, you have to be playing this with like some sort of way to benefit off of it. We do have Volo in the same set this comes out in, which will discard a benched one or a benched V. Um, so like you can retreat and wait for your Volo to show up to get rid of it, so it's not a liability. But it's still tough to make work. And I think most of the time these decks are going to have better options of removing the tempo from your opponent anyways. A lot of decks can probably try to become Cheryl decks, and in Arceus at the very least, you have Sharon's Care. So in the like most notable deck I could like think about this being included into, you already have Sharon's to sort of mitigate the damage already.
Like, no, I do not think this card is good. I just think it's very funny that the one thing you might want to put it on, they prevent you from putting it on.
True. Anyways, those are some cool cards. I've sort of hyped myself up about the Deoxys VMax too.
I want to try it just for hilarity's sake.
And also Giratina looks sick. With Cramorants, of course.
Yeah, I will withhold my thoughts. I was right about Darkrai, that's all I'm gonna say.
We haven't seen enough. Anyways, see you
You
guys
just
later.
don't want me to be right.
Yeah, you're right. I need some predictions to go right this time. Alright, later guys.
Alright, good night, guys. Take care.